Hi everyone, this is Jonathan, Citizen Advocate, and I wanted to share my hope and appeal to all political activists, especially those here in Tarrant County. Just to give you a little bit of my background, when the Tea Party formed back in '07, when, President Bush signed that stimulus package. They had that big Tea Party rally in Washington, D.C., and millions of people showed up. And I wanted to get involved in the Tea Party movement. And I found a Tea Party locally called the Northeast Tarrant Tea Party. And joined it and got active and went around, as many of you might know, went around videoing different Tea Parties here in Tarrant County and Republican organizations, and just videoing and getting active and promoting constitutional themed stuff. And I did that for maybe 5 or 6 years up until I think 2013 or 14. I fought and fought and fought, and I saw very little victory. Granted, we got a bunch of people elected, but the overwhelming corruption that grew just basically made me quit politics. And I told the president of the Northeast Tarrant Tea Party that I was going to get out for a little while and just stop for a while and go on a sabbatical for a little while. And when a little while came, I thought it might have been maybe 6 months or so that I would get back involved in the Tea Party. But 6 months came by, I was just totally disgusted. Reason being, one of the major things that got me out was that a person that I campaigned to get into office turned his back on us and betrayed what he campaigned for. And that was why I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I'm just going to sit back and wait. And I did think it was for a season. But I didn't get back in. It was kind of funny. In December of 2016, during my quiet times with God, I felt like God was saying, hey, why don't you go check out the Tea Party again? And I was actually saying, no, God, I'm not going to get involved in that anymore. I'm sick of politics. And all the corruption that I've seen, I got sick of it. And January 2017 came, and the Tea Party was meeting on the second Monday of January 2017. I don't know what date that was. And I went. And a lot of people were like, John, you're back. And so noticed that they had a prayer group, which I attended every once in a while. I didn't get totally immersed in that, but started to pray. And in the middle of 2017, a friend of mine, and this is where it's coming into the hope part here. A friend of mine introduced me to this lady who's currently running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4 here in Tarrant County. And she started talking to me and sharing about God and her relationship with God. And I was like, she wanted me to help her in her campaign. So I was like, well, let me pray about it. And went to go pray about it. And I got a word while praying for her. And during that time, I had been praying for clarification on what God was calling me to do. And got this word, and the word was stand to your feet and march in unison with God's heartbeat. And at that moment, I knew that God wanted me to follow His heartbeat for politics. And so since then, and this is interesting, since I got that word that week, I was at church. And I'm going to go ahead and say where I go to church. I go to church at Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas. And I was at church on a Sunday morning, out in the lobby getting coffee, making my coffee, and this lady came down the stairs from upstairs and started walking over to me, and she came up to me and said, "Hi, I don't know why I'm doing this. I rarely do this, but I feel led to invite you to a Vote Under God class, which is happening here in the next few minutes upstairs from where I came, from where she came." And I said, "So why should I go to that?" And she shared with me the hope, which is the hope that God is moving in politics. And what she told me was like the church wants to help people get active in politics. They want 100% voting outcome from their church, which is a church of just our camp is I'm guessing about 20,000 members at our church. We have 5 services on the weekend, Saturday at 4 and 5:45, and then Sunday at 9, 10:45, and 12:30, I think. And so when she shared this, I had so much hope, because knowing that God has classes at my church teaching about politics. Now, they can't endorse, but they can teach them the Constitution and have classes about teaching the Constitution and their biblical roots. And so I actually went up to the class that she invited me to. And when I got up there, and I'm going to name these people, they had I forget the lady, but a lady that is a spokesperson for the Texas Right to Life organization was up there, and the class was talking about the sanctity of life and its biblical principles. And they had Jonathan Stickland, Texas State Representative of District 92, my state senator, who is Senator Connie Burton, and Texas State Representative Matthew Krause, and I won't say what his district is because I don't remember. I know it's in the 90s. But he was up there too, and they were asking them questions about what the legislator did, the previous legislative session was here in Texas, and what they did to promote pro-life legislation. And when I got up to that class, those people were like, "John," and they were excited that I was in the class, and I was excited they were there. And so that was the beginning of the hope that I have. So now, my appeal to you, since I've shared this, my appeal to you is to go to gatewaypeople.com/equip, or actually equip, EQUIP.gatewaypeople.com, and look up the classes under Vote Under God, and come out and check out these, because there's hope. I mean, if God is moving in a mega church with 20,000 members, he's doing something. He's building the kingdom of God and his heartbeat here in Tarrant County, and also all over the world, I think, all over the United States. It's a new season, and God's shining his light to expose the corruption. So there is hope, and it's through God and his Son, Jesus Christ, by the power